Well, 2022 was a whirlwind from bear hard hunting in Montana with Telly and Gray to the 21-day, 25-day, I don't remember, African safari to finish up all the heart shots on the animals in South Africa with Heinrich and Gray and Morgan. Then came home and decided I'm going to head back up to Canada and stayed 26 days up there hunting moose and learning how to call moose and getting a heart shot and seeing some moose. And then heading down and trying to scout out an area in Montana for mountain goat for a day, and then heading down to New Mexico to scout the Florida mountains, Florida mountains, however you want to pronounce it. I'm just going to say Florida because it's spelled Florida. So I went down to the Florida mountains to scout out, get familiar with. A lot of guys put in for that tag and never even see it, and get down there and don't even use the tag because they don't want to bother with it. It's too daunting of a place. So I went down there with Big Mike. We scouted it out all the way around it, and I've got some video of that, and as well as the mountain goat scouting. So those might be areas that are potential for harding in the future. We'll see. But that'll be a little scouting video for you to see what the Florida mountains are all about, and maybe look at the crazies in Montana too. But this video is all about British Columbia moose. Again, different lake, same area, south of Whitehorse. But this one I call the Curse of Gismena because 26 days and 3 clients were up in that camp, and I was there helping out Big Dan, and there was no moose to be found. It was tough. I ended up getting a hard shot. I ended up calling in 2 moose that I was happy with, and seeing about roughly 8 to 9 moose altogether throughout that 26 days. So it wasn't 9 if you count the calf, that's what I mean. So it wasn't as productive as I'd liked it to have been for everybody else, but for me, hard hunting, it doesn't matter. It's just the fishing was great. I learned to call in moose, called in moose, hearted it. So success. I canoed, hiked over 60 some miles. Put in the miles between hiking and boating and the canoe. So, but I call it the Curse of Gismena because it was brutal everywhere I went. I was trying to scout for the guys as they were hunting, and I'd go different places, look for sign, and the only place I found sign was where I called those moose in. So it was pretty tough, but beautiful place. That's what hunting's all about. It's never gonna be easy, and if it is easy, it's probably not hunting. So I hope you enjoy the film. Like, subscribe. I wouldn't call it a film. It's just a little documentation of what happened. Like, subscribe, visit bigheartadventures.com. We've got a lot of hunts in Africa. Africa's set up now. We've got our own ranch there outside Kruger National Park. Heinrich's on board. We can do anything you want in South Africa, from the Eastern Cape up to the Kalahari, and especially around the Kruger National Park area. And going to be continuing to hard hunt. Got a lot on the plate for 2023. Gonna head and do nilgai in South Texas, both harding and full harvest. Then head straight to New Zealand for a 45-day deal to just explore New Zealand hard style. Come back. Got a couple other things planned when I come back. It's bear season, so that's got to be some sort of bear hunt thrown in there, and then got a big one for late summer. So action-packed. We got to get back to Africa too, so that's in the mix. Like, subscribe. You got to follow along. This thing's picking up steam, and I'm enjoying it. Everybody's enjoying it. We got some big areas in South Africa for elephant and lion and leopard. Come on a trip with us. You want to go? Let's go. You got a place you want to go? We'll go. Tag along with me. Let's do it. Like, subscribe. Enjoy this little documentary flick. Moose Camp 2022. We land at Chismena Lake, British Columbia. Big Dan and I ready for another season. And as the plane was leaving, couldn't help realize that we had 26 days. 26 days in a place we've never been before. With the grizzly bear that had just ransacked the cabin, and clients on the way. We're back at it, cleaning up grizzly bear. Fun. Hey. Yeah, looks like they had fun. This takes a little want to, you can put anything back together again. Well, with the cabin half clean and a little time on our hands before the clients arrived the next day, we decided to explore the lake. And all the way at the south end, we found something unusual. A dead moose laying in the water. So we decided to check it out. Little did we know this would be the only dead moose we would see the entire trip. A couple of casts to catch a fish for our supper, a little more elbow grease to clean up the cabin, and we were ready for the client's arrival the next day. So on the desert sheep hunt, I was going far, but I wasn't fighting brush, and it was steep and whatnot, but the distance and heat were the factors. Here, I'm trying to make it to different little ponds in between forested areas. It's not far, but it's a challenge to get through. This is about as clear as it gets. Well, I made it to the Glundaberry. It's just a creek all north of camp. I've been trying to get to it for a few days now, and finally did. I'm not sure why I wanted to make it here, but I did. I want to make it here and see it. Brock's dad talked about it, and I wanted to see it, so I made it. It was terrible, and now I got to go back through it. I thought I could follow it, but look at this mess. The Glundaberry is not conducive to travel, but I can hear the tails in. It's not far away, but trust me, it is far away through this crap. So with no moose sighted for a couple of days, I decided to switch gears and do a little fishing. And man, the fishing is good. The lake was full of lake trout and pike, and every cast seemed like you could hook one. What fun it was. Good distraction from a couple of days of not producing any moose. Well, after a good day fishing, I decided to change tactics for the next day. I'd take the canoe downriver and see what I could find. I went as far as I could, and all along the way there was beavers everywhere. So I just decided, heck, I'll just sit here and watch them. And they seem to come from everywhere. Kind of got lost in that, and the sun was going down, and it was time to get back to hunting. Well, I pulled up to a spot where most of the sign I've been finding was located and gave a call. What was that? Was that an answer? Well, the low light ability of the trigger cam is questionable, but you can kind of make out the moose. You can kind of see the hard shot was true. So I did a cow call, and I stood up, and there he was. He come out, and I'm telling you, the adrenaline just gets going. I was shaking. I don't even know if I got the hard shot. I really don't. I mean, I think maybe I didn't have a good rest, and I was shaking. When you call, man, and everything goes to plan. Well, there was no plan. Calm down a little bit, but I'm just thinking about this. And, I've never been here before. I'm kind of out here on my own and learning the area. I put on 50-some miles just trying to figure out where these moose are, what they're doing. And I found this little spot where one had been working, and I was pretty confident that this is the area he was in, but it's just been hard and not really in full rut yet. And so I taught myself how to call, and I figured it out, just what, kind of where, when, and it just happened. It all comes together, and it's a hard shot. Yeah, it's not a full harvest, but I'm telling you, to get the shot is exciting, and then to have everything come together, 16 days worth. It's the same. It's the same feeling, and the animals out there for somebody else to harvest or to live another day. But the hunt is the hunt. The challenge. You learn something about yourself. You learn something about the environment you're in. You learn something about the animal, and you have greater appreciation than if you're just kind of coming out and worried that you're not going to get anything. I was worried that I was going to get skunked on this trip. I mean, 16 days and had 2 opportunities, but not really. So to have this happen this evening, it's pretty cool. And on the flight back to civilization, I couldn't help but think of rainbows with moose at the end of them. And camp chores that satisfied you at the end of the day. An eagle watched over us every day. Quiet nights along the shore. And I sat next to my new friend. My mind drifted back to the river, back to the water that took me to my first moose I ever called in. That same water would always bring me back home to camp. Home has to be where the heart is.